All right, welcome. Good morning. We're going to come into a heel sit to start today, but I want us to really curl the toes under here as we sit on the heels. So I'm going to fan the toes and press them into my mat so that I'm creating some space between them. And then I'm going to broaden the sitting bones and rest the hips on the heels. So my hips are in an internal rotation here. The thighs are coming toward one another, sitting bones broaden. And I'm going to rest my hands here on my thighs and really stretch and create space between the fingers. Okay, so we're really making a nice flow of energy there. So I'm opening the toes and the gateways between them, and I'm opening the fingers. So settle into that. If you're having trouble with that internal rotation, maybe take the hands and adjust those thighs. And if the toes are tight, you might feel a little discomfort at first. Let's try to take a nice long exhale. We'll move back and forth off this position to get some release and then open it back up. But let's start here with a breath or two, really focusing on lengthening the crown of the head up. As we inhale, as we exhale, sinking the hips down, letting that weight kind of move the toes out wider. And on the inhale, maybe stretching those fingers open more, feeling the palms of the hands open more, just opening up to the energy flow that is available to us that we can take in as we inhale. And then as we exhale, perhaps settling the heads of the humerus back a little bit deeper in the shoulder so the heart's open, the sternum's forward. Exhaling, releasing the triceps down, elbows heavy. And then bringing that breath into balance. I'm just going to close the eyes for a moment here. And if you prefer, you could count how long the inhale is naturally. And then pause, and then make sure you count and make sure the exhale matches the inhale. Inhale, we're opening up to the moment. Spreading the fingers, lifting through the crown of the head, getting that lower rib cage away from the upper pelvis. Open heart. And on the exhale, let go of anything that's bothering you. So one more breath here and we'll start to flow. So I'm going to come forward a bit and I'm going to release the tops of the feet to the mat. Settle the sitting bones there and then come down to child's pose. And take a full breath there. Breathe the belly to the thighs and let your back release over you. Tuck the chin to the sternum. Pull the belly button to the back as you roll up. Slide off and sit to the right of your feet. Inhale and arch and reach that arm back behind you, opening your chest for Vrajasana. It's a nice chest opener here. I may take this hand, press that knee down and away toward the floor as I turn on an exhale and open the thoracic spine and the chest. And I'll come back on an exhale to center. Sit on the heels for a breath. And then I'll slide off and sit to the left. As you slide off, you might move that sitting bone so you feel a little more rooted here. And then we're going to make a nice big rainbow with the arm behind us. Anchor into this knee. Open that chest. Deep full breath. Exhale, turning and opening the thoracic spine. Exhale back to center, where I'm going to sit on those toes again. I'm going to curl the toes for a breath. Open the fingers. Pull the heads of the humerus back. Take a nice full breath. Exhale, release the tops of the feet, sink the hips down, sink the forehead down, child's pose. Chin towards sternum, pull the belly button to the spine, support yourself as you roll up, and then slide off. Sit to the right, Vajrasana, open that chest. Exhale, back to center, open the fingers, take a breath, and exhale, sit to the left, Vajrasana, open that chest, deeper into the legs, and back to center. So let's do that flow one more time. You can kind of go at your own pace, but curl the toes, open the toes and the fingers, open the chest, then release the feet, sink the hips down, and into child's pose. And then rolling up, conscious of using the core, that cat leg flexion, off to the side, to the right, open that heart. Exhale, back to center, open the hands, take a breath, and sit to the left. Anchor the sitting bones, anchor the legs, open the chest. Come back to center. We'll heel sit one more time here. So curling those toes, opening those fingers, opening that heart. And then we're going to flow forward into cow. So in cow, I want those toes curled, right? So I'm going to bring the hands under the shoulders. The toes are already curled. And move the spine toward the front body. Looking out at the floor, about a foot in front of me. Crown of the head's long, belly is heavy. Then I'm going to release the feet. Pull the belly button up and in. And arch the back to cat. And then I'm going to bring the big toes together, the knees a little wider, and take another child's pose. This time I'm going to extend the arms out in front of me. Really breathe the belly to the thighs, soften the hips. Curl, bringing the chin to the sternum, the belly button to the back, and curl the toes. Heel sit, fingers open, open the heart. Exhale the hands under the shoulders, toes stay curled, cow. Move the spine to the front body. Chest and the hips are broad. Belly is heavy and soft. The heart is vulnerable and soft. Then release the tops of the feet. Pull the belly button up and in. Feel your tailbone pointing down. Press into the floor with strong hands, strong arms. And then big toes come together, knees a little wider. Child's pose for a breath. Rest the forehead to the floor or to a block or a bolster to support you. Chin to sternum, roll up using the core and the spine in that flexion. So we're going to do that one more time. We sit on the toes and the heels, curl, stretch the fingers open, full breath here. Heart is open. Bring the hands under the shoulders, keep the toes curled, move into cow. Release the tops of the feet, belly button moves to the back, cat. Big toes together, knees a little wider, sink the belly down, walk the hands forward, rest the head. Inhale, look out in front of you, and let's use a little lateral extension in our child's pose. I'm looking out in front of me, and I'm going to keep my hips on the heels, and I'm going to walk my hands to the right, extending my arms long. And I'm going to feel the side body open here. And then I'll rest the head back down and take a breath through there. Just breathing really expansively into the left side ribs. And I'm going to inhale, look up, walk the hands back to center. And make sure I exhale, sink the hips into the heels. And then I'm going to walk the hands to the left. Want to keep my hips anchored back on my heels. Ask the right side ribs to open and lengthen. And then rest the head and breathe deeply into that area now. Inhale, look up, walk the hands back to center. Rest the head. One final breath at child's pose. Then we'll come to all fours and work back into our downward dog. So spread those fingers wide, curl the toes, get the weight even across the knuckles and wrist, and then start to extend the sitting bones back over the heels, keeping the hands planted, the arms engaged. Lift the sitting bones high when your head's in line with your upper arms. Come up onto your toes. And let's do a little cow cat here. Bend the knees. Press the chest close. Feel the heart open. Then bring the chin to the sternum. Straighten the legs. Feel the belly pull up and in. And then lower the heels. Extend the head in line with the arms. Find neutral. Play with that as many times as you need to. Find your rhythmic breath. Attempt to find neutral, using my directions as a guide, but also following the wisdom of your body, your breath. We're going to sink the knees and curl those toes again. They're going to create a lot of space in those toes. Anchor those toes down, move the sitting bones back, and walk the hands forward, melting the heart on a chitta chakra. So I want to walk the hands forward, try to get the chest to release the forehead to the floor. I'm going to inhale, look in front of me, and I'm going to press forward into my forearm, my hips to the floor, and come right into Sphinx, where I will then release the tops of the feet down, press my feet, my hips, and forearms into the floor, pull the heads of the humerus back into the shoulders so the collarbones are broad. Find my rhythmic breath. Elongate that tricep. And press into the hands, straighten the arms without sliding the hands closer. Lengthen the belly. Now I'm in seal. The sacrum is really anchoring down. The feet, the legs are active. Pressing the floor away. Inhale, and my heart and spine press forward. Exhale, my belly button pulls to the back body. And I anchor into the legs and the lower body. One more breath. And slow release. Melt yourself down, stack the hands, rest the head, soften the back of the neck. And find your neutral rhythmic breath. When you feel ready, plant the hands, spread those fingers wide, curl the toes, extend the sitting bones back so we have a long spine, and then lift to down dog again. So play with your down dog, come up on the toes, You might do cow and cat again, or you might bend one knee towards center, paddle the other heel toward the mat. Find your rhythmic breath. Remember, down dog's a neutral position, so arms and legs work equally. Chest and back are equal. Inhales and exhales are equal. Heads relaxed, drawing the spine out to its fullest length. Armpits are hollow because the head of the humerus is grounded, giving you shoulder stability. Heels are pressing to the mat. One more breath here. And then curling the toes, spreading them wide, bring the knees down, anchor those sitting bones back, and extend the arms forward. So the heart is melting toward the mat. The forehead rests, and the arms stay strong, shoulders stable. Bring the chest forward, weight into the forearms, lower the hips. Release the tops of the feet, Sphinx pose. External rotation of the upper arm, internal rotation, rooting into the pointer finger and thumb at the forearm. Spread the fingers wide. Elongate the tricep. And then straighten the arms. Bring this up higher to seal. Stretch the belly long, press the heart forward. Exhale down the back into the sacrum, legs heavy. And slow release. Stack your hands so that you can rest ahead, keeping the cervical vertebrae in a nice alignment. Soften into the cervical column. Inhale, and your belly will extend and expand into the back. Breath will then move to your back body, your side body. Bringing spaciousness to where it's needed. And then exhale, heavy back body melting toward the mat. We're going to do that series one more time, and I encourage you to kind of move at your own pace and feel through it in a way that honors your experience. Third time is always a time when we should feel pretty warmed up to something, and hopefully we get maybe a little bit of a breakthrough. Come into down dog. Press the floor away. Upper arm externally rotated, lower forearm internally rotated, hollow armpits, lower the heels towards your mat, relax the head. Breathe in and out. Belly should pull up and in, vacuum seal to support us so we can extend out into the arms and down into the heels and get some length. Then we lower the knees, get the toes curl, walk the hands forward, melting the heart. Feel it soften down. Bring the weight forward into the forearm. Elbows under the shoulders. Release the tops of the feet. Sphinx. Straighten the arms when you're ready. Seal. Slow release. Stack the hands. Place the head carefully. Keep it in alignment through the spine. Take a moment to resume that neutral breath. When you feel ready, plant the hands. We'll go back to down dog. Fingers are wide, weights even across the knuckles and wrist. Extend those arms, extend that spine. Get those sitting bones high. Take a breath here. Find the right pose for you. Work with where you're at. Listen to the breath. Listen to the wisdom of your own body. And let's bring the feet closer at center. And then let's extend the right heel away from us and just create some space. I'm really pressing down into the hands and the lower heel. At the same time, I'm extending through the inner leg, the inner heel, pressing for the sky. And then we switch feet. And on that inhale, I'm pressing the left heel, lengthening the left inner leg away from me and rooting strongly into the other hands and foot. Then I'll lower the foot. And we're going to take the feet out in alignment with the hands and slowly lower the hips and take this to plank. Slowly, keeping those toes curled. From the inner groins, pressing the inner legs, the inner heels away from you. Pushing the floor away with strong arms, elbow creases face each other. Belly buttons drawn to the spine. Let's go back to down dog. Lift those hips, deepen those groins. Head in line with arms. In. Breathing out. Slowly transition to plank. Feel your legs and heels press back. Waist is working. Lower body toward the wall behind you. And from the waist through the crown of the head, we're extending our energy out in front of us. Let's come into side plank. Let's roll onto the right foot, onto the pinky toe edge. Scissor the feet if needed, or stack them if you're feeling stronger. Press down and reach up. Breathe into the sides. Come back to center. Rest your knees down if you need that break. Reestablish center, and then roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. Upper arm externally rotated. Lower forearm internally rotated. Breathe into your sides. Press down, reach up, open up, and come back to center. Lower the knees. And then toes are curled. We'll go 8-point salutation. Keep the elbows close to the ribs. Chest and chin lower. Melt the whole body down. Back the hands, rest the head. We're going to down dog one more time before we transition to standing. So spread those fingers wide, plant the hands, extend the hips back, and then lift them high. Work the opposing dynamics of the musculature so the bones come into alignment. And then walk the feet and hands together slowly. Feel the weight shift out of down dog and into more of a hang here. I'm going to bend the knees, hold the elbows, rest the head heavy. Breathe my belly to my thighs. Let the sitting bones and groins sink down. Let the head draw the spine out to its fullest length. Then I'm going to press my hands into the floor or into the tops of the feet or the shins. as I straighten my legs by pressing into the feet and moving the femurs to the back of the leg, opening up the back of the knee, opening up the hamstrings. Make sure the weight's even across the inner and outer ball mount of the foot and the center of the heel. If you root down into those 3 points like a triangle, then the inner arch will lift and bring energy up the leg, elongating it, bringing some energy to your core, to your center, so you can extend your spine out longer. And again, you're looking at the floor ahead of you so that the cervical vertebrae are in their natural curvature. They're not hard. So they're in alignment with the rest of the spine. One more breath here. Making sure we're rooting into the feet to draw energy up to elongate the leg. And then we'll take the arms out wide and we will come up through the center, reach to the sky, and then release those arms. We're going to come into mountain at the front edge of our mat. And then take a moment or two to adjust the weight of the upper body across the feet evenly. Fan those toes out, right? We've been prepping those toes, opening up the space between them, the gateways. So go ahead and try to fan those toes out. Sometimes helpful if we press into the ball mount of the big toe, lift the other toes, and then release them. So the wider the foot is, using those toes to stretch open, the greater base we have for stability. If we're not gripping the toes, I have that tendency to have it. So after I spread the toes, I have to relax them. Make sure they're not trying to hold on and grip. But that rather, I'm using the strength of the legs to really support me. And the alignment of the femurs coming into internal rotation in the hips and the thigh muscles broadening toward the back body. Sitting bones are going to elongate down into the center of the heels. I'm going to shift my upper arms back, open my heart. Exhale, arms heavy at my sides, so my neck lengthens. I'm going to let go of any tension, anything that's bothering me, disturbing me. And I'm going to refocus the mind on exhales, rooting, creating that strong base. Being stable in my center, my core, my experience. And on the inhales, of feeling that energy flow just really working up. So if I exhale into the feet, can I feel that energy rebound up? Can I direct it? So that I'm as spacious and expansive as possible here. Feeling strong and steady, but also relaxed, open heart, open mind. This is the feeling we want to create and nurture as we're in mountain. The feeling we want to come back to in between the poses that take us out of our center, out of neutral. So we'll start to flow here. Let's press the hands together at the heart. Elbows out wide. Think about bringing the right left sides together and integrating there. And always staying true to your roots as we start our flow. The feet should not move. And I'm going to inhale, redirect the energy up, and reach up with my core, not my low back. Reach back. I'm going to exhale, bend the knees, hold the elbows hang, melt into the roots. Then half Uttanasana, where I'm going to press the hands into the floor, into the shins, straighten the legs with a lot of awareness, rooting into the feet. And then let's add bringing the arms around behind and bringing the chest closer to the legs into a fold. And then I'm going to inhale, reach out wide, come up through my center, through my core, elongate the belly, lift with the core. Exhale, mountain. When we go through this series, the next time the feet stay rooted, we inhale, elongate the front body. Exhale, elongate the back body. Work on just increasing that. Inhale, take it up. Lift and open the heart, long belly. Exhale, fold, long back. Press the hands down, straighten the legs. Extension through the spine. Chin towards sternum, hands behind legs, fold. Inhale, reach out wide. Stay true to your roots, come up through your center. Lift the heart to the heavens. Exhale, mountain. Feeling good here. Warming the body, but not creating tension in the mind. Staying focused on our feet are planted. We're right here, right now. Taking care of ourselves this morning. Giving ourselves our attention. Setting strong intentions about what the mind should focus on, how we talk to ourselves as we practice, how we think about ourselves as we practice. Be encouraging, challenge yourself, be encouraging, be kind. Let's add on to that flow. So we'll inhale, take it up. Reach up out of the waist, lift that heart, reach back, exhale. And I'm gonna hang, soften. Inhale, extend the spine away from the straight legs. Exhale, chin to sternum, draw the chest toward the legs. Bend the knees, reach the hips and arms back, the chest forward. Find your center. So the quads and the core are really working. Keep the arms in line with the ears, powerful pose. Hands to hips, and use the left hip and the power of that left leg and drive the left foot back. We're going to take warrior one. So we're going to bend the front knee fully and lower the hips. I want to pull that left thigh into an internal rotation, but press the left femur into the hamstring to root the back foot. Get the knee to be right over the ankle. Try to press as much weight as I can into the back foot, but being mindful of if I lose this rotation, then I'm going to find that balance of keeping the internal rotation and trying to find weight in the back heel. We're going to open the heart. Cactus arms, we'll pull the heads of the arms back, press the sternum forward, and we'll reach up and find our breath, find our rhythm. Just embodying the energy of warrior pose here for a moment, right? So we have strong legs, a rooted base. We know what we stand for. We also have this beautiful open heart, reaching toward the highest aspirations, reaching up into the sky, finding balance between those two things. We're connected to Earth. We are made of stars. We are both. Let's bring the hands to the solar plexus and really get a strong intention here that we want to find our center. I'm going to extend forward, come onto the toes of the back foot, and just drag those toes behind me just a little bit, and then go back. Little movements to start as we work toward warrior three. Core is strong. We got left thighs in a strong internal rotation. Drag the toes. See if you can lift them a little and extend the arms out. And then return. All right, 2 or 3 more times. See if you can take a little wider stance. See if you can lift the foot a little higher. Always staying true to your center, your core. Strong internal rotation of the left thigh is going to draw the hip down toward the floor. The heel presses away from us. The arms reach forward, lengthening, elongating the spine, creating space between the ribs. And then exhale, release. Whew. Against the hips, let's pull the back foot forward. Take out any tension. Let's return to our mountain pose here. Taking a moment to ourselves before we go to the other side. A little weight across the feet. Establish strong root system, strong legs. Open your heart. Relax your arms heavy, neck long. Hands come together in front of the heart, elbows out wide. Set your attention by the mind. Live in the heart space. Talk kindly to yourself. Challenging, but encouraging. Grateful that your body comes to the mat and does what is asked, even if it's not exactly what we want or picture or what we're working toward. Be grateful in this moment that our body is capable of this practice. We have our health, that we are attending to our health. Inhale, reach in, lengthen that heart, reach back. Exhale, bent knees, hold the elbows, hang nice and soft. Straighten the legs, press into the hands and feet, extend the spine. Chin to sternum, arms behind the legs, pull yourself into a fold. Bend the knees, squatting low, reach the hips and arms back, the chest forward, find your center, powerful pose. Hands to hips and the right hip, the right foot, the right leg drive back into our body. And bring the right thigh and hip into internal rotation, but trying to keep weight in the back foot. So the musculature and the bone, the femur moves into the hip toward the midline, but the bone then presses back into the hamstring. And you feel more weight into the toe side of that foot. That's when I start to bend, knee over the ankle, and frame just the right stance for my warrior one. Cactus arms open the heart, sternum pressed forward, then reach up, palms face each other, shoulder width. Breathe into this pose. Just embody the energy of the warrior. Warrior stands true in his beliefs, her beliefs. And have this open heart, this open mind is ready to hear and see other points of view. Hands come to the solar plexus. Let's start to work really small and slowly toward warrior three. Just going to come onto the toes of the back foot, extend forward, find my center, drag the toes, and then work back. Extend the energy of the solar plexus forward. And keep pressing the heel back behind me, even as the toes drag closer. 3 more times, finding just the right place for you. Each pose is a journey. It's a process. There's no final ending point because a pose could always just become another pose. So just find where you need to work. Find the right place for you today. Be true to yourself, kind, encouraging. Hands to hips here. Pull that back foot forward. You got any tension? And let's come into mountain. Settle the weight across the feet. Find stability in the legs. Find your center. Open your heart. Relax the shoulder blades down, neck long. So we do some work with cow face arms here and opening the chest. The first thing we're going to want to do is take the right arm straight up and just really elongate through it. Hold the head of the humerus in the armpit though, so I can get out of my joint or I can ground in, right? So we got to stay true. Try to stay true to home, but extend that arm. Then we take the left elbow in at my waist and the left hand up my spine. It's going to look like this at the back. Then I'm going to try to drop my right hand down toward the left fingertips. As I do that, I want to avoid leaning forward to do so. I want to maintain my neutral spine. If the fingers don't quite reach, no worries. Just continue to inhale and elongate the elbow up toward the ceiling. And exhale, hug the head of the humerus in. Stay grounded and true. Now, if the hands do meet, we can use a little dynamic opposition, working them against one another to really open the chest more effectively. Deep full inhale, open that heart. Feel that tricep open. Exhale, release. Maybe give the shoulders a little roll. Soothe any tension out of there. We'll try it on the other side. If you have a strap or a tie at home, you could use that to create a gap in between the hands. Don't want to overdo it on this one and cause more tension. So first, just going to reach up with the left arm, the palm open, the fingers wide. I'm going to make sure that I didn't extend out of myself, but that I'm still true to that shoulder joint. Take a nice breath here. And then I'm going to hug the elbow in at the waist. And bring the hand up the spine. Without leaning forward, keep the skull in alignment over the spine. Drop the left hand down. Inhale, elongate that tricep, point the elbow to the sky. Work at the right place for you. Stay true, stay neutral. If you're feeling tension, try softening the throat away from the teeth and away from the hard palate and opening the throat. One more breath here. And let's release. As you release, you might want to shake, circle, loosen. All right, so let's take this now into our balancing pose, our Lord Dancer. So we've opened that chest, and so hopefully we can carry that forward. Remember, we want the spine and the sternum to press forward. We want the heel to press back, and we want to be centered in between the two. So you're moving at your pace. You start from mountain. Find your focus point for your eyes. Create a sense of the weight shifting out of the left foot more into the right foot as we bend that knee, bring the foot up, and just find our balance, find our focus point. Then shift and transition the foot behind you, grabbing it with the left hand. Point the knee down towards your mat, pull the heel up towards your back body, and ask that quadricep to just elongate here for a breath. And again, just in your center, finding your balance. Then I'm going to bring the thumb to the lung point here. And as I extend forward, I like to bring the pointer finger and thumb together. The chest extends forward, the foot's pressing back really strongly. Use the strength of the leg so that you remain centered over the right foot. Even as the heart and the chest open and the quadricep lengthens. And release. Slowly shake it out. Release any tension. Return to your mountain. The sense here that as I bend the right knee, the left foot's going to take more weight. And I want to make sure it's even across the foot. I'm going to bring the right foot up, toes flexed. I have an arch in my foot. Find my balance. Then I'm going to transition the foot behind me. Hook it with the right hand. Quadricep stretch here, pointing the knee down. Pulling the heel up toward the buttock. Maybe I stay here. Maybe I don't move much beyond here. That'd be okay. Or maybe I start to press the foot behind me. Use the strength of the leg. And extend the spine, the sternum forward. And find that balance point. And then I'll release. Beautiful work. Shake out any tension. Let's come into the center of our mat. We're going to take a moment at mountain and then work into our goddess pose. We'll do our dynamic goddess pose squats here. I'm going to take my feet probably not as wide as my wrist, not as wide as I would for triangle. Maybe about 3 feet in between the feet. I'm going to turn the toes out about 45 degrees so that as I sink down, my knees are going to start to hide my feet from me. I'm going to try to sink my sitting bones right down to the earth. And ask the thigh to elongate. Exhale, into those groins. Cactus arms open the heart. I'm going to smile. And then I'm going to press into the feet and straighten and lift up. Exhale and bend the knees. Cactus arms, sink the hips, smile. And press into the feet, straighten, reach up. One more time, see if you can sink a little deeper. Smile and straighten. Woo, good. Now let's take the feet out wider. Let's open from the right hip, pivot on the right heel, turn the foot out a full 90 degrees. Angle the left foot about 45 degrees. Looking for a line from my heel to my arch. I'm going to bend the front knee. Keep weight in the pinky toe side of that back foot. Come into a warrior two. So pressing the palms up, reaching out as I inhale. Then using the forearms to lower the palms, Release the shoulder blades, sink into the hips. Gaze over the right fingertips. Keep the feet set. Keep your base as it is. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lift that heart. Exhale, side angle. Elbow bent to thigh. Draw the buttock under. Revolve here. Reach overhead. Anchor into the back foot. Extend through the fingertips. Open the side. And back to warrior two. Straighten the leg. Bring the feet to center. Prasarita Padottanasana. Broaden and open the sitting bones as you roll over the hips and into a hang. Wide leg forward bend. We can hold the elbows. We can press the hands into the floor under the shoulders. Whatever works for you. You could use a block to rest the head or hands on. I encourage you to experiment with that. Make your practice your own. Find what really works for you. That's part of self-care. That's part of exactly what we want to focus on and get out of our practice. We don't want to force ourselves into a position that doesn't work for us. We want to challenge ourselves to stay with the alignment, open up, and extend a little bit beyond our comfort zone. Be true to our center. If we can do that with the body in our yoga practice on the mat, then we can do it with the mind in our daily life. Let's bring the chest parallel to the floor, the hands to the hips, and come up through the strength of the core and the legs. And then we're going to the other side, dancing warrior. Left hip opens, pivot the left heel, turn the left foot out 90 degrees, angle the back foot about 45 degrees. Keep weight in the pinky toe side of the back foot as you bend the knee over the ankle. Let your sitting bones sink underneath you. Ask that thigh to elongate. Send out, palms up. Arms are an extension of the collarbones. Broadening your chest and opening your lung capacity. Forearms turn the palms down, shoulder blades release down, hips sink down. Gaze is over the left fingertips. Breath is flowing. Let's inhale, take this to reverse warrior. Exhale, take it over to side angle. Tuck the buttock. Revolve the rib cage. Reach overhead, stay anchored in the back foot, elongate the side. Back to warrior two. Straighten the leg. Turn the feet back. Parallel or toes slightly in. We're going to Prasarita Padottanasana again. Folding. Pressing into the inner and outer ball mount of the foot, the center of the heel, rooting those places down so the inner arch lifts and brings energy up the inner seam of the leg. Then broaden your sitting bones. Broaden your sacrum, which is your keystone of support here. And let the weight of your head draw your spine down toward the earth. Legs active and strong. Kneecaps drawing up as the quadriceps are working. Press your hands into the floor under the shoulders. Bring your chest parallel to the floor. Extending your spine out away from those straight long legs. And then let's add this twist here. So I'm going to center the left hand and extend the right arm up. Don't lose anything you're doing with the legs. Keep the spine long and just attempt to open and broaden that chest. Use your breath. And then let's switch hands. Let the breath guide you. Keep the feet planted, the legs as they are. Keep the spine long. And just revolve and turn slowly. at a pace that works for you. And exhale, back to center. Release the head, hold the elbows, or bring the hands to the floor, whatever was working for you. Hands to hips, chest parallel to the floor. Coming up slowly through the strength of the legs. All right. We're going to do that half squat again. So I'm going to start to bend the right knee. And I'm going to keep the left foot to the floor as I bring the hands down and try to deepen into this. But then as I do sink the hips more, I'm going to ground the heel and bring the toes up. So just see where you can end up with that. So you might not lower all the way, right? You're going to stop what works for you. We start with the whole sole of the foot into the mat. And then as we start to really sink into the hip, then we can ground the heel, bring the toes up. One more breath here. Try to relax any tension through the upper body. Sink the hips down as you exhale. And then we're going to plant the foot, straighten the leg, walk the hands over to the other side. So as I first start to sink down, I'm keeping the whole sole of the foot pressed in. And then as I lower, then I ground the heel, bring the toes up. Relax the shoulders. Find my breath. Good. And then we'll press the hands into the floor, the foot into the floor. We'll come back to center and fold one last time. And then hands to hips. Pull yourself up through the strength of the legs and core, heel, toe. Shake it out. Give yourself a nice massage. And let's take one last breath at mountain pose before we hit the floor. Nice work. So we're coming down onto the mat. Getting ready to finish off here. Start to slow down and get ready for Shavasana. Let's start with the legs extended out, straight in front of us. I might adjust the buttocks out of the way with the hands so that I can broaden those sitting bones back, bring them back a bit on a diagonal. I might massage the legs again. You've been working hard. Then we'll pull the toes back toward me. Extend the ball and the heel of the foot away from me so the heel grounds, the back of the knee grounds. And I press the sacrum toward the belly. Hands into the floor. Take a breath here at staff pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, extend out. So let's just start by keeping the legs rooted and grounded and active. Just see where you end up. Really focus on pressing the legs into the floor. Then round the chin toward the sternum, let the back broaden. Take a breath here. And then let's pull the hands toward us, come back to staff pose. Let's do a series of these, 2-3 more times. How grounded, weighted, and straight can we keep the legs? How far can we extend out with the spine? And how much can we broaden the back body to drape over us? Let your breath guide you. Stay true to the alignment. Challenge yourself, but be encouraging. Be kind to yourself also. And then we'll drag the hands back. Return to staff pose. And we'll go through this one more time. And so this time, as I extend out, if I can grab the feet, I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you have a strap, you could use the strap and pull back. Elbows wide so the chest stays open so you find just the right spot. This is helpful for me because this reminds my feet to press out and activate, root the bones into my mat. And this encourages my chest to open as I pull back with the elbows wide. And then I'm going to round and see where I can end up. And I'm going to come up slow and easy here. And then I'm going to recline. Legs extended out. Back resting. Shoulder blades and even against the floor. Sacrum smooth and even against the floor. And let's hug the right knee in. Draw the knee close to the chest, toward the armpit. Extending the left heel away from you. Pushing it down and down to the floor. Get that left leg straight. Keep that still as lengthening. Breathing here. On your next exhale, bring your chin toward your sternum. Pull your belly button to your spine. Bring the knee and head closer together. Exhale, release. Let's go ahead and extend this knee over. The right shoulder anchors. Gentle revolve stomach pose. Don't force anything. Just keep this left shoulder anchored. Draw the knee over. Breathe expansively across this side. Soften the tongue. Back toward the throat. Keep pressing out through the left heel. Keep that leg straight. And then exhale. Bring yourself back to center. Both legs extended straight. Adjust the sacrum, the shoulder blades, so the back body feels smooth and even. Hug the left knee in this time. Interlace your fingers, draw it closer to your chest, closer to your armpit, but continue to extend the right leg out away from you, grounding the right heel into the floor, keeping the toes flexed, breathing. Exhale, chin to sternum, belly button to the spine, head and knee closer together. Exhale, release the head back. And bring the knee across. Gentle revolve side pose. Important anchor point here is that left shoulder blade staying grounded and rooted to the floor. Through the right leg, keep it nice and straight. Find a nice soft breath here. Soft, heavy tongue and open throat. Exhale. Bring yourself back to center. Extend both legs out. At this point, take a nice long neutral breath. And just reflect for a moment on how the body's feeling, how the mind is feeling. As we prepare to go into Shavasana, if you're feeling like you need to do any last pose, that might really help set you up for a deeply restful relaxation. Go ahead and take a moment or two to yourself. You might just want to hug the knees in or rock side to side. You might want to come into child's pose or down dog or opener. I encourage you to listen closely, carefully to what the body would like. If you're feeling heavy and soft and the mind is quiet and you're feeling like you're ready to start Shavasana, that is also perfectly fine. You need a moment or two to grab a sweatshirt or sock, blanket, so that you're more comfortable. Do those things. Set yourself up for success. All right, so I'm going to start guiding people into Shavasana if they're not already there. You recline back, take some time with the back body. Again, ensuring that the sacrum and the shoulder blades, the large flat triangular bones at the back body, that those make a nice neutral, smooth contact with your mat. That we're creating a lot of surface area at the back body, making contact with our mat, with the floor. And then extend the feet out, lengthening the legs. And as you do that, really try to elongate the limbs so that we get a nice spaciousness to the body, to the vertical axis of the body. Bring the big toes together. And then let the feet drop open to whatever's comfortable for your hips. You might wiggle the upper fleshy part of the arm gently underneath you to open the heart here and pull the shoulder blades down a bit more. You might bring the hands to the shoulders, elongate the elbows and the triceps away from you, and then extend the hands out. Bring the fingers in, curled, and then exhale with the palms open. Make sure you're resting comfortably somewhere along the base of the skull, and that the cervical vertebrae can have their nice natural curve, gently lifted away from the mat. Close your eyes and let a long exhalation be a slow release of any tension that may have been built up in the musculature of the joints or the mind as we practice. Cleansing exhale. Feeling that tongue get heavy. Feeling it release away from the teeth. No longer needs to clench. Soften the throat, soften the soft palate. Become aware of that space in the throat, alive, full of energy. Bring a gentle smile to the inner corners of the mouth and to the outer corners of the eyes. Exhale the tongue away from the teeth, the throat open and soft. Inhale that gentle smile at the face and now also at the heart. Exhale, tongue heavy and soft, throat open. Hear your breath. Inhale. A gentle smile lifts the eyes, the corner of the mouth, the heart. And now across the belly and the pelvis. Exhale. The tongue is heavy. The throat is soft. The back body releases to the mat. Settle fully and completely into yourself. You are a universe, self-contained. You have everything you need. Allow yourself to move away from the outer universe and deeply within your own, where you can be restored, rejuvenated, and recharged. Next inhale to my deepest and slowly become a bit more conscious. Spreading the energy that we have contained at center slowly back out to the peripheral body. Beginning to stir the fingertips and the toes. Beginning to circle the wrists, the ankles. Beginning to stretch the arms, the legs. Take your time with it. Again, listen to yourself. Listening to your breath, your body. When you feel ready, brush yourself up. And you'll find a comfortable seated position with the legs, the hips heavy, the spine centered, tall, the heart open. And from here, we will close class together. Bring the hands out, connecting to the earth. On your inhale, I invite you to reach up for hope, grace, and contentment. Hug the head of the humerus in even as you extend the arms. Spread the fingers wide. Inhale, lift the rib cage up and away from the pelvis, stretching the belly long. Exhale, bring the palms together. Bring them down through your center in front of your heart, elbows wide. Inhale, and the heart lifts. Exhale, and the chin tips toward the sternum. The head is heavy, the back of the neck long. One more time until head and heart meet fully. Pause here for a moment. Enjoy that feeling of contentment, of quiet. Carry it with you as you leave your mat and go about your daily life. Namaste, friends. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for practicing with me.